Jose, it's hard to believe that famous companies like Anheuser-Busch, who invested billions into building up a strong brand name over decades, would just sacrifice all that for something stupid.
It's very sad, but nothing surprised me at this point anymore. I saw too much in the last 2 years and a half of Joe Biden administration that nothing surprised me anymore.
You know, it all comes down to ESG, and this is what's causing all the trouble. And this stands for environment, social, and governance. And ESG, Jose, is what these investment firms are using before they buy stock for your 401k to and to have an ESG score, the higher score, they'd buy that stock. So companies think, wow, I need a high ESG score in order to have these big companies buy my stock. It'll make the stock go up. So they do things like try to appeal to transgender community, or they'll come up with advertising pushing electric cars or something, or all this crazy social craziness that we see going on. It's just to get this ESG score. And in fact, this meme I particularly like. In fact, I modified this meme, Jose, because I just saw this. I added the word ESG to it, but it shows how Disney fell into this, and then Anheuser-Busch, and then Target fell into this. And the reason why people are boycotting it is because they feel like this ESG is forcing a narrative down their throats that they don't want, Jose. So my question to you is, since you are an international man of mystery, sought the world over for your comments, and you're getting calls from many countries, the media, for interviews, is this type of ESG, do you see this going on in other countries? Or is this unique to the United States?
Well, quite frankly, I didn't see it in other countries, but you see the socialist leftist agenda always start with some pilot ideas here in America, and when they're starting getting some momentum, they send it to other countries, like imported some of the leftist ideas to other countries and implemented in other countries. So I didn't see that idea in other countries, but this is so sad and pathetic. And I just, it's not scared, but I'm afraid to see this agenda moving left, and Biden and the White House supporting this. It's sad because they is starting moving this country in that way. I never see this before. I'm just,
well,
I
in
can't
Peru,
believe that
do you
someday
have
I
any
wake up and see this, you know?
is anybody in Peru trying to push a transgender education into the school system there, or having their students be encouraged almost to read about changing their gender or anything? Is that happening in Peru?
No, it's encouragement. I mean, the part of the left of government, before they try to implement some of the books for the little kids and some people in the middle school to learn something similar, but the whole country protests, and they have a lot of protests around. It was called "Con mis hijos no te metas." That means you don't mess with my children's. And that was a big movement around the whole country. And
I like that. It's a good one. Don't mess with my children.
Yeah, don't mess
and
with
I'll
my
tell you,
children.
this is something that we're seeing at the grassroots in the United States, is parents showing up at teachers' school board meetings and things like that, because they're seeing what's going on from COVID, watching the online classes. What was being taught to their children was indoctrination, and they got upset and started bringing up their discontent at school board meetings. And then the Biden FBI and all that, the Justice Department started saying, oh, these parents that are bringing this up, they are domestic terrorists. So they've weaponized the FBI and all that against them just because they're being involved in their children's education. So I like that that saying in Peru, don't mess with my children.
And that was a big movement in Peru, and the leftists stopped that agenda. They won't promote any of those books or anything like that. But what we're seeing here is totally bad. You see, we see that the education system here in America is trying to move that direction, when in China, the education doesn't even look for this. They prepare their kids in China, Russia about technology, about about a computer and new systems, about how to create an app. The education is different over there. They're actually educating the kids, teach them knowledge, information, prepare their kids for the future to get a job and work in the real world. Here, we actually want to teach our kids this type of transgender, how to identify yourself when you're 8 years old. It's crazy. That's not education. That's indoctrination, bringing ideas that doesn't even make sense. So we don't have a direction. What we actually tell our kids is basically no education. Is basically tell me you're gonna learn this. Is that's gonna help you in the future to be insecure, to don't have a solid idea of what the next generation America is gonna be. Because I don't think so everybody in America want to be transgender, right? I don't think so that's the goal.
So what do you think is the
nothing to do with the
goal,
founder
Jose?
fathers actually looking the future of America.
Do you think that China and our adversaries are trying to take down this country from within, starting in our schools, starting with our culture, starting a culture war like that, just trying to rot us from within so that they could eventually dominate and become the world power they've always desired to be?
Well, Abraham Lincoln once he says that no country is powerful enough to take us down. If America will suffer someday in the future, that will come for itself, for us. And what we're seeing now is the leftists, the Democrat Party, some of these people are using the education system to send this indoctrination and then to destroy our country, because it's what I see in so far. I don't see something that bring prosperity, higher education, innovation, good ideas. No, this is really bad. If we keep going this way, I don't see a bright future for our country.
You know, we just had a meeting of the North Oakland Republican Club, and we were focusing in on the money that the state of Michigan and Oakland County gave to the World Economic Forum, millions of dollars. And I would encourage anybody listening to this, search for North Oakland Republican Club on YouTube, and you can watch that presentation because it's very interesting. And it's related to this whole ESG thing and what is going on behind the scenes, this globalism, this new world order. And I think part of that goal is to take down the United States. And because our founding, everything is the antithesis of a new world order. And for these people who want a new world order, they are trying to calibrate the United States so they can do it. And I think, Jose, that this whole thing with ESG, the social scoring, is part of it.
It's very disappointing, but it is. They have a direction, they have an idea how to damage our country. They're taking money from us, sometimes for taxpayers, or sometimes in different way that they try to build this new order. And it's sad. A lot of people knows about it. Some people may think it's a idea, or maybe it's somebody made up, but it's true. And we have, if people watch the last North Oakland Republican Club meeting or search on Google, North Oakland Republican Club, they're gonna see the last speaker.
Yeah, look at that YouTube, and it was put on. The speaker was James Dixon of Capital Confidential, which is an excellent news source, and they're part of the Mackinac Center. But another thing that scares me about any social scoring is how it's being used in China. And if they are scoring their individuals, their citizens, and restricting their access to things based on their behavior, this looks like we're heading in that direction unless we stop it. So, Jose, I think when you see people not buying Budweiser and Anheuser-Busch sales going down into the can, no pun intended, but going into the can, that hopefully people realize they're not just protesting Anheuser-Busch, promoting transgenderism. They are fighting ESG social scoring. And that's what we have to do, Jose.
That's right. The message is clear. People understood, and that's the way to fight. And we're gonna keep fighting. It's sadly that big companies like this want to be involved with this crazy idea or this crazy agenda from the leftist. But it is what it is.
Yep, and the people are fighting it, and it shows the power of the consumer. If they stop buying something, they get offended by it, that'll kill it, and hopefully that kills ESG and social scoring, Jose.
That's true.
Okay, Jose. Well,
right,
as
thanks.
always, it's a pleasure to talk with you.
It's my pleasure and my honor, Matt. Always thank you again for giving me a few minutes of your time and being your show.
Oh,
and a lot of people watch, and it's very nice to see many comments. And I want to tell the people that don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and any comments are well appreciated for us. Thank you so much.
Okay, Jose, until the next time.